Hello everyone, welcome to another PS does video game reviews. I haven't done this series of videos in a very long time, mostly because they weren't having that many views, but well, now I have a few more subscribers, so maybe it makes sense to cover them again. Anyways, the point of this video is to walk through the games that I've been playing on the last couple of months and just talk a little bit about them, what's good, what's bad about them, and if I recommend in any shape or form. So let's get right onto it. The first one that I was replaying after a long while was The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I especially was playing some new mods that came out for it. There's going to be a relaunch, or not a relaunch, new chapter added, a new DLC, I guess it will be, sometime at the late of the year, maybe the new months of 2021. So that's going to be interesting, but it's probably also going to be pricey. Isaac is usually a bit too pricey for my standard, but it's a really good game. And if you like roguelite kind of settings, it's really interesting. Anyways, I was playing that a little bit, the mod, which of course I don't remember, but I do recall that I did some videos about it and posted it on my list of videos. So if you check my Binding of Isaac playlist, it should be there. So the Dungeon 2, I experienced it for a little short while. It's a clicker kind of game where you explore a dungeon and just configure your characters, and then you can unlock other stuff. And I checked it because I used to play the Dungeon 1 a lot. I 100%ed it, and it was interesting. It was not like extremely good kind of game, but it was interesting to keep leveling up, and it didn't require that much interaction. It's a clicker game after all, so if you're there and present and interacting, it goes slightly faster, but you don't have to do it. You can just set things up and let it do its thing alone, or come back after a few hours, even offline. You can even turn it off and it will still be doing stuff, and when you come back on, it will have achieved the things that you let it do. So I was checking out Soda Dungeon 2, and it's pretty much a remake of the game. It's exactly the same mechanics, exactly the same characters, it's exactly the same power-ups. They just improved the graphics and they added some small gameplay changes. The more interesting one was that you could apparently start scripting things, but it wasn't really fully working yet when I tried it. So I was a bit disappointed over it overall, but I mean, if you like clicker games and you haven't checked Soda Dungeon 1, Soda Dungeon 2 is much better choice because it has improved graphics. But considering I already grinded all of Soda Dungeon 1, I don't really feel like redoing it all if it's exactly the same or very similarly the same. So yeah, I didn't really play it much other than a few hours. Then I played Sleeping Dogs, the Definite Edition. I won this on steamgifts, I believe, on Playing Appreciated deal, where you have to play the game. And I really got into it and I really enjoyed it. It was cool to discover Hong Kong. It's like a Grand Theft Auto sort of game, but set in Hong Kong. And you are an undercover cop, spoiler alert. And so you get to see both sides of the cop life and bad rogue life. I don't know what else to call it, the triad member life, which is an interesting take on the GTA genre, where you are always playing the bad guy and not ever playing on the cop side of things. So yeah, overall I liked the game. I liked the storyline. I think it was good, well made. It felt a bit empty. The DLCs weren't that good. It could have easily have gotten much better love after the release. But well, good enough. I spent a few hours there, so it was worth it. Then I tried out Stardew Valley. Was on my to playlist for a very long time. Was really good, was really chill. I enjoyed it a lot, but I started to feel like I was going there every single day and just doing the routine every single day. So I wasn't really enjoying the game for what it was made for, which is a more casual sort of play where you randomly decide what you want to do today and you just do that. I was actually optimizing it. I was actually gaming it. And it felt a bit empty because I was just stuck on a loop trying to get money as faster as possible to build the stuff that I could do and optimize all the stuff that I could do on the farm itself to make sure I had the best crops, to make sure I had the best quantity of possible fish, to make sure I had all the minerals. I was just grinding it, and it's not a game that you should be grinding. So I thought, okay, this might be interesting to play later on with some friends. So I'm not gonna keep playing it now. And one day, when Afonso, my kid that is now 1 year old, is old enough to want to play this kind of video games, I can play it with him with a fresh take onto it and help build the virtual farm together. And maybe I can get Christina to play as well, and we can play as the whole family playing on the same farm. That could be an interesting way to spend 1 hour every night or something like that. So we'll see what the future brings. But yeah, it would be interesting. If I had like a friend that was playing regularly, I could maybe join their game and help them out and do some streams with that. But I don't really have anyone playing Stardew Valley right now, so Cube Escape Paradox. It was really good. It's one of those kind of games where you are stuck in a room and you have to figure out how to exit. But Cube Escape have it's a company or it's from Rusty Lake. I think the company is called Rusty Lake, and this is like a series of games. All of them have this very surreal look into it, which makes it more interesting and weird. But yeah, the puzzles themselves are not very hard. It's just clicking everything around, checking everything, and then figuring out what goes where. Where is the key for this door? Where is the combination for this lock? Different objects that you need to put together. So it's those kind of puzzles. Overall, it's nice, but you need to be in the right mindset for it. And I did like the surreal, dark, whatever, gloomy atmosphere around it. So I enjoyed playing it, and I'm a fan of the series. So I've been playing a few of their games. This was the latest one that I played. Now I picked up South Park: The Stick of Truth. I had got it on sale, I believe, or was it on the bundle? I don't remember anymore, but I got it very cheap. I've been eyeing it for a long time because it was with a very good rating. And I am a fan of South Park, the series, and the game did not disappoint. It played very well. The storyline was very well thought. It explored the whole city, the whole characters. I had a lot of the original humor in that. It did not fail at all in that aspect. You could really tell that like the original makers of the series were very involved with the game, and they made the whole thing with the game. It wasn't just like a gimmick to get some money out of the franchise. So I really enjoyed that. If you are easily offended by random humor, you should probably not play it. But if you see the sarcasm behind it, I think it's a really good game to check out. Sorry, I'm a bit bad with my throat. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Samsara Room was also related to Rusty Lake. So I played two of Rusty Lake's games. Samsara Room is, I think, shorter. I'm not sure. But yeah, pretty much like Cube Paradox, like Cube Escape Paradox, just a different kind of setting. Hatoful Boyfriend Holiday Stars. I was a big fan of Holiday Boyfriend, Hatoful Boyfriend, and I've been trying to play Holiday Star for a very long time. I never quite found the right mood to play it, so I just decided to go for it this time. I was disappointed with it. It didn't live up to the expectations of Hatoful Boyfriend, of the original one. Had a lot of small... How do I say this? You kind of need to have played the original one to play this one. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense. So it's already narrowing down its target audience a very large part. I don't know why they didn't do a DLC instead of making an actual new game out of that. And it's not really on the... doesn't follow exactly the storyline. It's like a parallel to the original storyline. The stories all feel somewhat short. They don't have the same love for the characters that the previous one had. You can sort of see, well, the characters are there, so clearly you have this connection, and you re-see them, and they have the same character, and you get a little more deep into some aspects of some of the characters, and that part was cool. But I don't know, the storylines themselves didn't really strike my fancy, so I was a bit disappointed overall. Crush Crush, it's a clicker game. I should be a little ashamed of playing it, but the truth is that I got so hooked on it that I wanted to unlock everything, and whenever they release something new, I have to go check if it's any good or not. So it's kind of like a dating sim, and if you hate objectification of women, which you should, this is a really bad game. But it's so bad and cringy that it kind of turns around, and it actually it's they know what they're doing in terms of objectifying things. Like when you are gifting something at the beginning on the easier levels, you are gifting something small and the woman is happy, and that allows you to escalate the relationship with the woman into a dating status or whatever you can call it. And then later on the levels, it's like something ridiculous. You have to give her like a million cars, or a slipper, a crystal slipper like in Cinderella, or magical things, and it breaks the barrier of what is sane and logical, and you just are there to appreciate the characters' quirkiness and subterfuge and sexual innuendo and stuff like that. Well, it's not for anyone, but it is an interesting little game to check out if you like clickers and date sims and random anime drawings of girls which are half naked. It does have a nude DLC, which I don't have. If anyone wants to gift me, I would really appreciate that. There is no game for the Jam Edition 2015. This is awesome. This is awesome. It's not a game. There is no game in here. Awesome experience. You need to try it out, and it's free to play, so really worth checking out. Hexcells Infinite, I installed it because it got an update, and with the update I realized that there is a level editor for Hexcells, which is great since I always wanted to make levels for Hexcells. So I've been spending a few days of my life doing a few different levels and submitted it on Reddit, and other people have played it, and I joined the Discord and talked with some other people who make some of the levels. So it was fun. It was fun. I thought that like the levels that existed were way too hard, so there was like a niche for making simpler levels where you just don't have to be thinking so hard into progressing, just unlocking stuff. So I made a few. And yeah, it's a really good logic puzzle game. If you like logic things or puzzle games, definitely check it out. It's really, really good. And so there's a whole series of them. For Impossible Levels, I don't remember playing this. I think I only ran it to get the cards, so I'm gonna skip it. Missed Messages. Missed Messages was a nice little game. It's about it's not a it's a visual novel kind of thing. There are not that many choices. The branches are not very, very long. The artwork is really good. The ambient music and the whole mood is really good, and it touches about some important things in life. Well, I'm gonna spoil alert a little bit. It's about suicide or suicide prevention, being a friend to people who might be at suicidal risk, and what you should do, and the way that you do things changes things slightly, and you can see how the character would have reacted in different timelines. And that may sound a bit dark. It manages to not be as heavy as the description sounds. So I think it's actually a very interesting game to play out and check a few of the different branches and see the things. And it helps you reflect on how you should behave to other people, to friends mostly that are in suicide risk. So I know that some people don't like these kind of subjects. They don't want to play games about it. They want to be entertained with games. So it's not a game for everyone. And it also features gay characters in there. So if you're anti-gay for whatever stupid reason that might strike you, you should also probably not enjoy this very much. Then I checked out Tacoma, which was really good. It's like a walking simulator, but in space. You explore this spaceship, which is abandoned, and you see some different logs from different events that happened in the past, some recreations, and there's some interesting stuff happening there. The design was very good, the ambience, the attention to detail of the modeling of the space station and stuff. There's also creators footage or audio explanations. So there's a way to play the game with audio commentary from the creators, which is very interesting to also dive into and understand a little bit the concept of how the game was created and how people make games overall. I really like the game. It touches a few interesting aspects, mostly related to rights of artificial intelligence. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was interesting. Had a good narrative. I enjoyed it. The Gems of War, I started playing it because it was free to play and it was a casual game, and it didn't keep bothering you to spend money on it. And I just wanted a casual game to play. And so it's a match-free kind of thing, but there's a lot of things to do. You can spend like multiple hours just doing more and more and more matches. And it's a deck builder game as well. For those who don't know what a deck builder game is, you accumulate cards and you decide which ones should be included in your team. And you can improve those cards and bring them to the next level, and you can do different stuff. There's a campaign mode, there's mode to play against setups from other players. There are all sorts of different ways you can spend a lot of time just playing another game. It felt a bit repetitive at some point, but I still have it installed, so I guess I'm still playing it. N++, been playing it a lot, as you've seen if you follow my videos. Been doing the usual, a few more gold and challenge levels. Since I already unlocked most of the stuff, I'm I'm currently having to either do all gold on the levels or do the challenges of the levels. I've been doing some speed running sessions as well, promoted on the Discord, where they have like a special row that you should try to speed run every other week. So yeah, I've been playing it a lot, still have it installed. Finding Paradise. So this is the reason that I wanted to do this video. Finding Paradise. I just finished it a couple days ago. It's from the same creator of... what the hell is the name? Hold on. I want to get the name right. So this is like the third game in a sequel of games. No, I don't want to install Finding Paradise. I just want you to open Steam. And go to the page. It should be here. And it should be listed here. That's it, The Bird Story and To the Moon. Yeah. So To the Moon was a story about two scientists who help this old man relive any regrets that he had in his life through this machine that hooks up into your head. And they make your brain think that you had a more successful life in some shape or form. And it was a very good game. And then the same creator also made The Bird Story, which was the story of a little boy who had his friendship with a bird. And now he was working on for a few more years on this game called Finding Paradise. It was released in 2017, as you can see there. So it's already a few years old. It's made with RPG Maker, but it's not really the typical RPG Maker game. There's a lot more narrative depth to it, which is good. And it was really a roller coaster of different emotions. I really enjoyed the game a lot, and I highly recommend it to anyone, regardless if you're an RPG fan or not. This is not an RPG game at all. It's more like a narrative game. It has some funny references to different things. It has a lot of Japanese humor in it. If you know Japanese culture, you will find some stuff funny. If you have some gamer culture, especially of video games, you will also find some remarks here funny. But overall, you don't really need to have all that backlog to enjoy the game. I think the narrative really speaks for itself, and it's story of a life of this old man, similar to the previous game. And it relates to the bird story game as well, because the old man is the little boy on the bird story. I was actually playing the game and in the beginning, and I was thinking, wait, this story is very familiar. Didn't I play this already? I thought I was playing the new game that came out. Is this the old one and I'm just replaying it? But no, they just replay some parts of the story to contextualize where you're at. So it's a really moving story of this man with his wife and his son, and I don't want to spoil the storyline, so I'm not going to tell you the whole thing, but it's really, really cool and really worth checking out. It really brought a tear to my eye at some point, and it really makes you reflect on what is important in life, how you cope with things that happen in your life, and it does that without being like invasive and or like patronizing in some ways. It just makes you think about those kind of things and how people deal with that, the different ways of people dealing with that. So yeah, I really highly recommend it. Finding Paradise. And yeah, that's it. That's all the games that I had to show you. This is what I've been playing on the last couple of months. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know on the comments below if you played any of these, if you have any similar recommendations, anything like that. That's it for now. See you next time. Bye bye everyone. Take care.